The Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Baltimore Ravens.
Pitsies.
Wild card action. I think it's Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
In Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore's big favorites.
Big.
They've got us as big
10
dogs.
point favorites.
9.5 point favorites. 44.5. I'm actually strapping up this weekend. I'm locking in.
You're wearing protection.
I'm getting on the field.
Tyler's
First
playing in the
time.
game.
First time.
And I'm going to start on this one. Look, this spread is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
was a
Quite
good laugh.
disrespectful,
No.
huh?
This
There's
isn't
not a word.
football game. This isn't a game you can crunch numbers and you'll read stats and lines. You don't need to do anything. Just put all that
This is a
aside.
Georgia game.
The last 10, what do you have to say? Everything's about college football for you. You
Sorry.
can't ever live in the moment. You
My
can't ever
bad.
talk about the NFL. First off, Steelers money line. That's the headline, believe in something. Plus 420, just put that in your pocket. It's free money. But let me tell you why. We've still won 8 of the last 10 against the Ravens. People forget that we actually own the Ravens in Baltimore. I know at the end of the season, we played them recently. It didn't look good. Nothing's looked good the last 4 weeks. I know that. Everything looks bad. We haven't scored 20 points in the game. Everything is bad for the Steelers right now. It doesn't matter.
Everything is bad.
There are 3 forces at work that I want to tell you about. First, it's the history of the Steelers and the Ravens. Like I said, 8 of the last 10, which is very significant when the Ravens have been a better team since 2020 than the Steelers. Every single season, the Ravens have been better than the Steelers. We've been awful. The quarterbacks have been Pickett. They've been Trubisky. They've been Mason Rudolph. Now Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Which I want to
all
get to.
equal.
No, I think whatever it is. Yeah, and we still beat them. 80%.
Name the
80%
imposter.
rate.
I agree.
Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is the second best thing we have going for us, and it's really, really strong. People forget this. People in the regular season see Lamar Jackson and what he does every single year. It happened last year when they were the 1 seed. And they go, oh my God, MVP, best player in football. How do they lose? How do they lose? He's 2-4 all time as a quarterback in the playoffs. He's been in the league damn near 10 seasons. Like Lamar Jackson is not a playoff quarterback. He doesn't win playoff games. He won 2 his entire career. And he's lost 8 of his last 10 against the Steelers. Dude, I know Russell Wilson plays bad, but he actually has playoff experience. He's won playoff games. He has an all-time winning record in the playoffs. He's won a Super Bowl. He's 9-7 all time. I really, really think this is a spot. I'm totally biased. 100% biased. I'm wearing a fucking helmet for Christ's sake. But this is a spot. Plus 9.5, plus 420. Look at the number. Plus 420. I mean, give me a break. This is as good as it gets. Steelers money line. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is toast. This is why every season the conversation, the postseason is about Lamar in the playoffs. And that's not what we talk about in the regular season because he's amazing in the regular season. This isn't a regular season game last I checked. Steelers.
No, I love that. I love it. But, like,
Believe in something.
no, I have to be fair. I'm a fair guy, you know? So we were talking about Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, right? Then we got to flip it to the Steelers in the playoffs.
We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, so a team that has
Revisionist history is what we do over here.
No, I pick and choose my stats.
this
I
team has constantly let me down every single year. I've known it's going to happen every year. It's just because of the quarterback we have at the helm. Nothing's changed, and they continue to not change anything.
Playoff for us.
Russell Wilson is a terrible quarterback,
Awful.
9-7 all time.
Awful.
and he's really just not. I like, honestly, I'm more than happy to be wrong. I don't think the Steelers are going to win this game. But if we're going to win the game, it's going to be because our defense is just legacy mode, which sadly hasn't been the case as of late. They've had spots where they look good, but they haven't been that top number 1 defense in my eyes in a while. I know we've had a little injuries over the past couple weeks, but our cornerbacks have to strap, which has been tough. We've been getting cooked. Porter hasn't been himself like he was at the beginning of the year and last
Mr.
year.
PI in the flesh.
Yeah, he's been a lot of PI. So our defense definitely has to step up, but I just don't.
You can't judge last game. He's going against Jamar.
No, it's been all year. Trust me.
No.
Mr. Triple Crown right there.
No, it's been all year. Trust me.
been all year?
But no, yeah, that's
been
bad.
watching,
But
sorry.
like, I just think that
Joey Porter's not.
the Steelers team has to have an identity and it has to be defense. And I think running the ball. I think Najee. If you play, you can't let Lamar have the ball. The only way I think we win this game is if we control time possession by a long shot and have long possessions.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson loves not having long possessions. He just loves.
No,
right now.
Mike Tomlin, if it's ever 3rd and 1 and we either run to Jalen Warren up the middle or throw a deep streak to Calvin
Yeah,
Austin.
40 yards.
Arthur
40
Smith
yards.
cooks
No,
with
I'll
the-
kill myself. I'll do it.
Arthur Smith cooks with it. He hates Najee Harris. Najee Harris is sleeping with Arthur
I
Smith.
mean, we have Najee Harris
And
just
Justin
an absolute
Fields.
bell cow,
and
and he's
Justin
like,
Fields.
Or just like
Nah.
a Fryermuth like 5
No,
yard
dude.
out, but it's like no,
It's
all
a,
or nothing.
It's a pitch to Cordarrelle Patterson, or it's a freaking streak to Calvin
No,
Austin
yeah.
the third. Every time, it's unbelievable. And George Pickens, get your head out of your ass. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I love that. No, George Pickens is a whole. We need
catch
that.
the ball.
That's a whole.
It's in
episode.
your
That's a whole
hands.
No,
episode.
offseason
Catch!
we'll have an entire George Pickens episode.
We'll have the George
Catch!
Pickens.
Oh my, we need to have a lot
You
of
can be a
episodes.
head case like AB if you
ball
are
out.
leading the league and balling out. Last year you had 1,000 yards, great. This year you are a bean. You can't catch a ball. Dude, George, sorry.
I'm the
George.
public
No, I love
defendant
it.
of George Pickens.
Mike loves George Pickens.
Wait, what did you say? You're a public offender?
I said I'm a
No,
public
public defendant.
defendant.
He's both.
Sorry.
He's actually
He
both.
goes both ways.
All right, he
No.
goes both ways. But yeah, I just think the Steelers team is a tall task ahead, and I would like to see Justin
Easy
Fields
task.
be used in this game.
I do too.
Whether it's switching this up, don't just be boring and just lose the game by 21 points because Russell Wilson had a pick and threw for 150
Let him
yards.
return kicks.
Do something with Justin Fields. You got him over here. Make a move. Do a 3rd and 1 with him. Let him throw it deep. Do something. Surprise me. Come on. Steelers, I believe, surprise me.
I actually
Yeah.
like Fields on 3rd and 1.
Oh,
He's an automatic.
You'd
4
think
yards.
we'd use him.
Or Najee, maybe every
No,
other
you'd
day.
think. But yeah, there we have it. You have Ravens. -9.5. That was
No,
your pick.
I'm betting the Steelers. I can't.
Oh, you didn't give a pick.
No, I can't not bet the Steelers. I'm betting the Steelers, but I'm
Steelers.
just concerned.
Mike, please, for our friendship, bet the Ravens here because you're terrible at the NFL.
Well, I'll tell you this right now: the Ravens are definitely going to win the game.
That's good for me. It's a start.
Here's the thing, though. When it comes to the spread,
Yeah, it's
is that
There's
it's
no way.
pretty obvious that this is just the easiest Steelers spot of all time to take the points. I don't think the Steelers are going to win. But first of all, Tyler's absolutely right. The Steelers team knows how to have the Ravens number. They know how to play this game unbelievably close. And then secondly, if you're going to look at the actual just number of the spread itself, you look at this Bills-Broncos game, which is another video that we'll release later, but that is a whole point lower, yet the Bills are a better offense than the Ravens, I would say, and the Broncos are a worse team than the Steelers. Yet it's a closer spread.
As of late,
I would argue it. So, I think the Steelers are a
lost-
formidable team.
We
I
lost
think
4 straight.
we're probably the worst team in football
They
right
haven't
now.
won in a month.
Look,
The
again,
Giants have won more games than
well,
us.
going back to what you were saying and what I was
luck.
saying while you were saying it,
Gangster.
is that I think you guys have half decent offensive weapons, i.e. George Pickens. The problem, dude, look, everybody's going to slander this man's name because of last week, because quote unquote 6 drops. At least 2 of them got knocked out by a defender. Like, that's just unlucky.
One was a
That
great play by the defender. One was like
2 of them.
phenomenal.
2 of them.
Just one of them.
It was the
Wait,
second
did
one.
you watch the game?
So the first one went for 0 yards, and
Yeah.
the second one got knocked out of his hands. And then there was one, like, I think
had
it
a
was in the
drop.
3rd quarter or something
Did
like
his
that.
stat line finish with 1 for 0 with 6 drops?
He had
negative 1
yes,
yards.
he had 6 drops, 1 reception for 0 yards.
So like, he's terrible.
Legacy.
I'm just defending 2 of those drops.
Okay.
Why?
Well, again, I just
What
feel
does
like
that
he's.
say
I didn't know you
I
were
feel
a
like
Pickens
he's.
fan.
No, I'm not a Pickens
Big
fan.
Georgia guy.
I'm not a Pickens
You know how
fan,
crazy 2 drops in a game is?
dude. All I'm saying is that they
You're
got
saying-
knocked out by a defender.
That's not a drop.
No.
That is.
No, it's not.
It
It's not.
counts
If
on
you
the-
do this and you get the ball batted out, that is not a
does
drop.
not count
A
as a
drop
drop.
is when the ball comes and you drop the ball.
Which he did a lot.
He had 2 drops. He had 0 receptions. So
1 reception.
He had
What
one
was it? Oh,
reception.
just for 0 yards.
He had one
Yeah.
reception. I think it was 7 targets and then 6 drops, quote unquote.
He didn't have
no,
6
he didn't
drops.
have 6 drops.
He had 4 drops, I would say.
Oh well, all right. Regardless,
Regardless.
I think his name was dragged through your mud relentlessly for no reason. I think the Steelers are going to lose here, but I think it's way too many points to be giving up or to be letting for the Ravens. So Steelers are going to cover, but not win.
All right, Mario.
Man, if it was 10, I would take the Steelers. But because they shaved that little half point
I love
guy-
shaving it
Whoa,
down.
whoa, whoa.
Because I think you guys can keep it, like, lose by 10. Just like give me a push, and I'm betting Steelers with you guys. But 9.5 is just like
juicy.
a little too tempting for me. Before I give out my official pick, let me just talk about these 2 teams.
about 'em.
Everything you guys have mentioned, at least like the aspects that are kind of negative about the Steelers, is kind of what I'm also feeling. Past month has not been good. Haven't won a game. Haven't looked good.
I've seen
Haven't-
better.
Yeah, Russ, to start the season looked great, but obviously the competition wasn't necessarily as good as it's been lately.
Just
And
gotta let 'em
also,
cook.
yeah, I mean, you start playing the Chiefs, the Eagles, and I mean the Bengals got hot at the end of the season as well. Hasn't looked good, and you're playing a Ravens team that is looked pretty good, especially end of the season. So I like the Ravens winning here. It's tempting to go Steelers just because you guys know how to play against Lamar and this Ravens team. It is tempting. But I got to give it to the MVP, so I'm going to go Ravens -9.5. But I hope you guys cover.
We aren't picking
It's
the
a
Bills
lot
game
of
right
points.
now.
I hope you guys cover. And I don't foresee a win for the Steelers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the cover. I just need to win the game. Just give me a W.
Miracle.
Who I'm
If
the opposite.
we lose this game, I'm 100% serious. We need to fire Mike Tomlin.
Why
You can't.
you lose the MVP?
Yeah,
No,
you
but
can't.
why can't you?
You lose to the MVP,
Why can't you
and
win?
you have an over 500 season, and you made it to your playoffs.
I actively believe.
When's it that
I
bad
actively-
to lose to
No.
Can you just admit Lamar's going to be the best quarterback?
You're not
on the
firing Mike Tomlin for this season. You're firing Mike Tomlin for the lack of anything in the last decade.
field. But it's always winning seasons.
It
no.
is always winning seasons, which is hard to find a not.
No, which is actively the worst thing a program could ever do. If you,
What's wrong with being 10-7? It's great.
No, but if your goal is to win a
That's a
Super
deal.
Bowl, if your goal is to win a Super Bowl, right, which
Yeah.
it should be if
I
you're
mean,
an NFL team.
it
If it's not,
should
you have
be.
problems.
Should be.
If your goal is to win a Super Bowl, the worst thing you could possibly do is make the playoffs every year and lose in the first round.
But you don't have the roster for Super Bowl.
The
Well,
reason you don't have the roster is because you don't have any high draft picks.
But what if Mike Tomlin wasn't the reason Russell Wilson came over, and he just worked with which he did great.
I
with what he
literally
got.
don't think us being bad is has to do with Russell Wilson at this point.
You guys need a real offense.
But what is okay?
No, I actually think the Steelers'
Put it
offense
this
is
way.
fine. I
Put it
just
this
think
way.
it's different calibers of teams. There's a reason there's elite teams.
But-
Like you're not the Eagles, you're not the Ravens, you're not the Chiefs.
Dude, and I know in hindsight it's easy to look at the quarterbacks we had and shit on them, but Mason Rudolph we drafted in the early second round, right?
Yeah.
So he's whatever you want to say, he was the passing leader in college at the time we drafted him early second round. Kenny Pickett we drafted as a first round quarterback, as the number one quarterback in the class. Again,
Hot
you can
take.
say he's not very good. It was probably the worst quarterback class we've seen in a while. But then you have Justin Fields, a former 11th overall pick or whatever he was on roster, and Russell Wilson. I know it's not great. He's still statistically not terrible this season with 11 games. I don't really think it comes down at a certain point. You have to start looking at administration and coaching. It's just if we're saying we missed on every player we've taken on offense the last 8 years, fine. That's maybe really, really unlucky. But maybe you need to change up the luck somehow. I think Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL, but maybe it's more at the GM side of things. Maybe it's roster
what I was
and
saying.
admin or something. Maybe it's not Mike
They're not
Tomlin.
making moves.
But there needs to be some sort of shakeup because it really kills the team if you make the playoffs every year and don't
lose in the first
and
round.
lose in the first round. Just
get the
just
18th
to
to
lose.
24th pick every
yeah,
year.
Yeah, you
Just
no
to
matter
lose.
what aren't top 18, right? And so
Yeah.
you get your first team out, you get the 19th pick every single season.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. At least you can do what the Texans did, for example. Go just be shit.
Yeah,
after
tank
getting him
players.
away, and
Tank
then you go get Will
absolutely.
Anderson, CJ Stroud. Boom.
Yep.
Franchise rejuvenated. You're a
Or
home
just
play-
trade,
get in the
pay a
home
lot
playoff
of money for one player. Get a T Higgins.
Exactly. Well,
Get a.
I'm on board with you, but we have not done that in the last 15 seasons.
I think you need a quarterback
I'll
before you
flip.
need a
I'll
receiver,
take
too.
Steelers spread.
Good
That's
sentence.
how we do it right there.
Good sentence.
ding, ding.
Whoa.
Hashtag you got to believe in something.
You gotta believe in something.
Wait. No, I'm kidding.
Please flip.
No,
Please.
no,
No,
I'm
one
not-
time for the boys.
All right, let us know what you
Mike
think in
has
the
to make it
comments.
sweat.
Do our Steelers have a
It's
chance
easy.
to win this game? Please let me know if you're a Baltimore fan, if you're a Ravens guy.
Pickens
just
legacy game.
I don't know.
Incoming.
Yeah, we need something. We
We
need
need
something.
only 2 drops.
We need something. But stick around. We're talking.
Jalen
We're talking every
Only
single
3
playoff
crash
game.
outs.
We're talking every single playoff game this week. So stay locked in with us. Drop subscribe if you're not already, and let us know what you think in the comments.
Lamar MVP.